Come on, bitch, let's go. Come on, get ready, bitches. You haven't seen nothing yet. Come on.
Valentino, Versace, Lamborghini, Bugatti. I got money to burn. I'm single and I'm naughty.
Come on.
Tiffany's, Cartier, Gucci, Armani.
Come on.
Hi, you guys. Well, it's been an exciting week, hasn't it? Today's show is going to cover Real Housewives of New Jersey, gossip, some exclusives, and it's going to also cover Vanderpump Rules and the Valley gossip that isn't in the public domain. So it's an exciting show. It's a big show. I may or may not, by the time this airs, have dropped some of the tea in this show, depending on my mood, to do with a whistleblower who reached out to me, who works at Vinivia, who spilled all the tea about the company and the relationship between Louis Verwellis and Teresa Giudice and the company. And I will be speaking on it today. I'm not putting it in the public domain because I don't want to have the person be figured out who they are. So it's going to go into the Patreon. I want you guys to know that I know Kim D and Jacqueline Larita and Teresa Giudice did a show that dropped on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, June 19th or 20th. If you want to go check it out, it's on Teresa Giudice's YouTube podcast, Flipping the Table. I told everybody in my bonus audio last week that I knew the podcast was coming out. It didn't come from Kim, but I knew. And I wanted everybody to know that I was really happy for Kim to be able to collaborate with Teresa, she's trying to rekindle her friendship with. I think Teresa's going to be good for helping Kim D get another bunch of fans that help her Patreon and her book. And I want Kim to succeed. So I am so happy that she did the collab with Teresa, and I'm giving Kim D the respect and the space she needs to do that with Teresa, because obviously I'm reporting in a way that Teresa Giudice probably doesn't like. I can assume that because I was doing a Google search the other day and I realized Teresa blocked me, although I never actually followed her, even looked at her feed, because I don't look at people's feeds for my gossip. That's not where I get my gossip from. But I happened to notice, because I was like Googling an article about her or something, and I noticed it because I clicked on the link and it was somehow related to her page and it didn't come up. So I'm like, okay, I guess Teresa blocked me. Oddly, Louis didn't.
Thank you. I love you.
So, I want to give Kim D the space she deserves in being able to do and pursue this friendship with her old friend, and I will be there for her when and if she needs me, as always, because I love Kim D. I love Jacqueline Larita too, and I'm so happy she went on Teresa's show. I was really excited to watch her with Kim, having like a discussion with Teresa. That was cool. Very cool. I'm not going to comment on their show content yet. I'm going to process it and come back. I do want to say this, though. James Leonard, Esquire, I have a message for him. I just need somebody to tell him. I don't think he would accept it for me, so you guys can tell him. I am not the investigator on X. But I love that he thought I was. Like, I can change my persona and like go on there and, do a whole other deep dive. And I wish I was that awesome, but I'm not.
The only thing I'm guilty of is being shamazing.
So I wish him luck on that deep dive. Unfortunately, I think he's going to waste a lot of money finding out who that is and finding out it isn't me. Now, I did tell the investigator that everybody thinks I'm him. And so I'm sure he is going to get a kick out of that. I haven't gotten a response yet from him on that. Oh, see, this is what happens when you do this type of dirty stuff. You start to think people are capable of what you're capable of. But the truth is, if people aren't programmed like you, they don't do like you. So, Jim, I am not programmed like you. I would never create fake accounts to create news. I don't do that. I don't have to. My news stands for itself, whatever it is. My entertainment news, my gossip, whatever you want to call it. My Mrs. Whistledown weekly newsletter I like to drop.
Seems Lady Whistledown is playing games again.
On another note, Melissa Feaster did talk to Daily Mail. Melissa, in case you don't know, was Teresa's co-host on Namaste Bitches, and the show suddenly ended. And of course, everybody in the Patreon knows why and what the story is on that. But the reality is that, she did give a hint of what the real reason was, even though she released a very PC, politically correct take on why the podcast ends. We all know the truth. It isn't at all what was said there. But she was trying to do the highbrow thing, which is to not hurt Teresa, because that's not the kind of person she is. And she could have whacked hard. Oh, so hard. I actually know how hard she could have whacked. She could have whacked in a way that would have devastated Teresa Giudice. But she didn't. She was very highbrow about it and very cool, and she only gave Daily Mail a little cryptic part. The whole PC part was this. The truth is, I spent over 2 years of my life with 2 kids under 6, having another podcast side piece, and being a nutritionist with my own business, creating and building Namaste Bitches, she continued. I worked on it 24/7, and after all that, there's no way I would ever do anything to ruin it or go after someone. That's not who I am or how I roll. You can ask any of the 150 plus people I've interviewed and have amazing relationships with. I'm one of them. On top of all that, I'm pregnant, and the pregnancy has been very difficult. So with all that, it was time for a break from Namaste. But then she says, because she probably hated saying that, she said, Melissa added cryptically, I could say a lot more of the other reasons I stepped away, but again, that's not who I am or what I do. Right. Well, I know the other reasons. You guys, let me tell you, whoever is doing what they're doing to Feaster, watch your step, because you never know where those receipts or who those receipts will end up with. So I'm going to be doing a live tonight at 10 p.m. EST with Thea, and we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of New Jersey after the show airs at 10 p.m. I hope you'll join us. Thea has some insider scoop about what's playing out on the show right now, and I wanted to get it. And since I was going to get it from her anyway, I thought, why don't we do it on a live so you guys could hear it firsthand? Also, you can throw in questions about any of the gossip in today's show in the Patreon or out here that you want to ask about in the interaction on the live. So you should really enjoy this one. I also will spill some more tea, obviously, to do with what I found out. And all in all, I think you're going to find it a really great live. So don't miss it. And if you do, you can watch it under the live tab on my YouTube, DecaDish Dana, or you can, of course, watch it from the Patreon. It's always in there. I keep a recording of it. So that's fun. All right. I will give you one leaked thing from later in the show now, because this is still the free part. Okay. Here's one leaked thing. I asked this staff member of Vinivia, what was wife of the party referring to when she said girls were being hired to work at the Avenue of the Stars office? Like, she was talking about Louis Ruelas's office at the Vinivia location. What is this, like, they're hiring women comment that she throws out? Because I'm like, to me, that sounded like she was implying something. And so the whistleblower said, so Vinivia has hired some Russian promotional models that go around in the park cyber trucks around different parts of LA to approach random people to get them to download the Vinivia app. That was from March to middle of May. I think this is what wife of the party was referring to. Vinivia did hire this new girl shortly after the team was laid off. Ooh, a new girl. So the new girl is an entertainment journalist. Wow. And she's very beautiful, and she has 20,000 devoted followers across her social media platforms. She's a red carpet correspondent and a force both on and off camera. She had no in the industry when she started her career, but her love affair with the glamour of Hollywood motivated her to achieve her one in a million dream. Aww. She worked at TMZ and Entertainment Tonight, and she loves to interview stars on the red carpet. Oh. Have fun figuring out who it is. So her title is Director of Partnerships and Host at Vinivia. They're also opening a studio in Tennessee, which is a strange place to do it, but I guess that's what they're doing. Yeehaw! Also, I was curious as to when Louis Ruelas was last in the office. So I found out Louis Ruelas was in the office, allegedly, last week. And then I asked, is it possible that Louis Ruelas was duped in all this by Marcello and his partner, Stefan? And no, this whistleblower didn't think so. They said, that is a false statement. If he was duped by Vinivia, he would not be so cozy with Marcello, and Marcello would not be hanging out with Louis Ruelas for his 50th birthday celebration and the latest golfing, etc. Plus, they're inseparable when prospective vendors come into the office to discuss partnerships. I guess I'll leave that with you to contemplate. All right, let's get into the normal show and sign up for the Patreon at $6 a month if you want to hear the rest of that tea and know what's really going on for yourself.
Come on, bitch, let's go.
Okay, my friends, first part of the show is a lot of tea to do with the Valley and Vanderpump rules, and then the last 45 minutes of the show is the whistleblower tea that I'm dropping in today's episode. That way you want to jump around, you can. But you should listen to the whole episode at some point because it's awesome. It's 2 hours practically. Yeehaw! So I'm not going to lie. I'm going to use today's show to cover Teddy Mellencamp, Stassi Schroeder, and yes, the Valley's Danny Buco's church and his wife, okay? Their church is Mosaic, and it has been floating around in Hollywood for a long time as a kind of, it's supposed to be like a Baptist church, but there's a lot of tea around this church. It's kind of like home church, church home, or, Hillsong Church. It's got ties to all of it. So I thought this would surprise you that like most of the Valley's cast is in this church, and then Teddy Mellencamp, and it all ties it together, because that's, by the way, why Danny Buco got casted on the Valley. He met Teddy at church. He was a pastor there, and then she introduced him to Jax Taylor, and through that friendship or relationship, he gets cast on the show The Valley with his wife. So I asked Breaking the Rules pod clips analyst extraordinaire Amber to come in the show. She has really good intel on Vanderpump Rules, The Valley. She talks to a lot of the talent behind the scenes, and she's amazing. So she's going to help me with this part of the show. And then she's going to exit off, and we're going to do New Jersey. I am going to bring Amber in with her spirit animal, a baby fawn.
Get up, Bambi. Get up. Say bird. Bird.
So that was from Bambi, Amber. That's for you, your spirit animal, the fawn. What do you think?
I love it. It's amazing. I'm so excited. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, we've got a baby deer right now. That's why I said that. That's my spirit animal, because somehow it wound up in our front yard screaming and crying for 2 days until we finally fed it. And now it's Bucky Bambino, and it's a buck. It's going to be like this big badass deer that just walks up to people.
Oh my gosh. Well, I hope that the deer stays close to you, because people are generally mean. So
in West Virginia, you can actually put a neon vest on them, and the hunters will not shoot at them. But we have 40 acres here on the farm, so I hope he stays here on the farm.
Oh my God. Okay, definitely put the vest on. Maybe give it some branding, so it's like hot. It's like a good looking vest, not just orange, and maybe some pink, intermingled hot pink. And send him out and protect him. And I hope he stays on your farm. How amazing to have that much land. Oh my God, that's my son's dream, your life.
Really?
Yeah. He wants to go out in the middle of nowhere and buy a bunch of land with trees and build a log cabin from scratch. I'm like, you'll be dead, but okay.
I love that idea. We bought a 100-year-old farmhouse. And started renovating as soon as we got in. We got the lower half done. Now we need to work on the upstairs.
Oh my gosh. You have to send me an after when you're done. I'm like an HGTV fanatic, just saying.
Oh, we've done most of the stuff by ourselves. So you'll be like, whoa.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. My uncle used to be able to build, he was a carpenter, and he passed away, but he had built all the furniture and interior of this beautiful home that he had put together for one of my aunts in Massachusetts. And when he passed away, she said one of the most amazing things about the house was that she could see like him in everything. You know, he was in every piece of furniture and she felt like he was all around her. I thought that was so like romantic and sweet.
That is romantic, extremely romantic. Like that kind of gave me goosebumps a little bit.
I know. I wish it would happen to me. I'm so alone. I'm so alone in my hotel room, endlessly in my hotel room. Anyway. All right. Well, let's get started with the gossip. I was particularly interested in talking to you about Danny Buco because there's been a lot said about him that there's some sort of dark side. And I think I reached out to you and I said, do you have some idea of what the hell Danny Buco's dark side is that Jax Taylor went publicly and alluded to?
I know that somebody else tweeted a picture of Danny and Nia and said favorite couple or best couple. And he retweeted it and said, we'll see how this ages. That's really what he was alluding to was we'll just see how that ages, which was extremely hurtful to Nia because Nia really kind of is Miss Switzerland, I feel like not Miss USA, Miss Switzerland. Because she definitely tries to stay out of all of that and does not want any dark side to be shown of him. So dark side Danny is not her favorite character they portray on the show.
Oh, so she has said that she doesn't like when they depict Danny in that light.
Oh, no. I mean, she doesn't like him when he's in that light. She'll call him out right on the podcast. I enjoy the podcast because my daughter's former pageant. So it's not just like another one I have to listen to. Like I actually enjoy her podcast. And she brings him on quite often to talk about the Valley. She brought him in and they really had like contention trying to describe and talk about the episode where he kind of, was rude at the dinner table and had too much to drink. And it was funny because he was the one that was like drunk and being ridiculous. Now, granted, later Jax was ridiculous to Brittany, but he was like, Jax had 2/5 of tequila. Who in their right mind drinks 2/5 of tequila at once?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I heard that too. I actually listened to that because I said, I really want to understand what the hell Jax was talking about. So I was like, maybe there's a hint in there. So Jax said, Daniel has had his fair share of getting kicked out of my bar. He's been kicked out a couple of times. So I think it has to do with drinking.
Yeah.
So the dark side of Danny is that he drinks.
Well, he drinks too much. Not that he drinks. He gets to the point where he drinks too much and he gets wild. I don't think he's like mean. I think he's just wild and out of control. He said, I'm pretty sure Jax followed that up, that statement you're talking about, followed that up with talking about Nia coming to get him quite often. So they're like calling her and having her come get him from the bar whenever he's had a little bit too much. That would get super tiring for me. Like I was formerly married to an alcoholic. Never again. # never again.
Yeah. I don't think she can even do that with the kids she has now, right? She has 3 kids that are little. So she's not getting him. He's just going to be blacked out somewhere or like not come home till late or do something like that, But it's possible that he's one of these people that has like almost an allergic reaction to alcohol. So becomes like a different person totally when they drink. It doesn't matter. Some people can drink till, have 9 drinks like Jesse. I think they said he had 12 drinks in Big Bear before like 11 a.m. and have no impact on his personality whatsoever. But then there's other people who totally change. And maybe Danny's one of them.
And I think that's what they are talking about when they say dark side Danny. Like it's just a point at which there's no turning back.
Wow. Well, I guess Jax is going to try to get Danny hammered so he can have it come out because they just started shooting. So he released that X.
He said, we'll see how this ages. Picture of them together and labeling them the favorite new couple on Bravo and the Valley.
Oh, yeah. So he's obviously out to get them because
he's throwing daggers. And I know she said multiple times that she would pull and and not film for the show if it was affecting her relationship.
But I do get the sense that Nia likes the show a lot. Like, I know, like, she kind of plays off like she could take it or leave it. But
I mean, they're twins. Their twins are acting, Dana.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not buying her whole spiel that she's putting out. She actually seems more into the show than he does. I mean, let's not forget, Nia and Danny Buco have had, a YouTube channel, the Bucos, for like 7 years ago. They tried to do a show that was like a reality show about them and their relationships and their ups and their downs and the integration of religion. They had this big wedding video that they did, and it was like a gorgeous wedding, but it was very religious centric because Danny Buco is a preacher at, I guess, Mosaic.
I'm such not a great person to talk about organized religion because I am not a fan of organized religion myself. And it's so weird because we have a 22-year-old son who is a devout Christian, has always been a devout Christian. So people are like, what? How in the world did your son become a devout Christian? Because I'm all about people expressing themselves in whatever way, is the best for them. And really, faith is something that he leans on all the time and he really loves it. So I don't know, like, it's so different though than Christianity, this Mosaic.
Yeah, let's be clear. Mosaic is not a traditional Christianity. It came out of like a Southern Baptist tradition. Teddy Mellencamp has been involved with this church in Hollywood for years and years and years. She did an enrollment video about it. In fact, let me play you a clip. For the full scoop, join the Dishing Drama Dana Patreon. The link is in this audio description. It's only $6 a month and you'll get the best information and tea about the things you care about and even the things you don't know you care about. What are you waiting for?